Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. In today's video, I want to share another in-depth perfume review, and the fragrance we're discussing today is the new LoveShackFancy Love on the Beach. I recently purchased this during the most recent Sephora Spring Savings event. And a little bit of a spoiler here, I'm actually filming this video on April 14th, which is the last day of the Sephora Spring Savings event. And I am in all likelihood going to pop the full size of this into my cart before the end of the day so that I can save at least 20% on it. Because you guys, I think that I have found my perfect summer 2025 fragrance. If you are a fan of beachy, tropical, solar floral scents, I cannot give you a better suggestion than LoveShackFancy Love on the Beach. I have absolutely fallen in love with this one, and I think a lot of you guys are going to love it as well. I am completely impressed with the overall projection and wear of this fragrance as well. The lasting power is amazing. I also have a body cream suggestion that I'll give you in terms of pairing this with something that I think makes it even more summery and beachy, if that's at all possible. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a little journey through Love on the Beach. Obviously I've got the travel size here, but I'm telling you, I think I'll be getting the full size. And I have a long list of fragrances that I have recently reviewed that I want the full size of, but I think that I have to bump this one up. It is that perfect, you guys. I don't think I can be without it this summer. So let's go ahead and tackle this review in my usual style. I'm gonna read you guys their little scent story. I always think these are kind of cute and provide quite a bit of information. We will read through the in-depth notes. I will tell you how this translates on my skin from the bottle, so how it interacts with my personal body chemistry. We'll discuss the overall strength and projection of the fragrance, and of course address the lasting power. This is something that's very important to me. I actually just recently reviewed the Ellis Brooklyn Guava Granita, and this one really had the worst lasting power, and that is a major bummer because I am normally a big fan of Ellis Brooklyn fragrances, but that one just faded on my skin so fast. That is not the case with this one. The lasting power here is fabulous. All right, let's go ahead and read through their scent story. Sea, sun, and a wild spirit that's always glowing. Love on the Beach is a sexy solar floral perfume that gets its tropical heat and texture from sun-washed flowers, creamy coconut, and sun-kissed skin. Smells like an ombre sunset, lingers beyond the horizon. A solar floral perfume led by lush tropical blooms like frangipani paired with island coconut. Saltwater and skin musks amplify your natural scent, while ambrox and sandalwood give it a creamy, woody warmth that lasts for ages. Ylang ylang and gardenia elevate the beachy vibe with cool elegance. Smells like an ombre sunset, lingers beyond the horizon, yada yada. The fragrance family that this falls into is fresh. The scent type is fresh solar, and the prominent keynotes here are frangipani, coconut, and salt water. So let's go ahead and let's spray this onto my skin. I actually don't need to apply this. I applied this, it's been just about 4 hours ago now, and it is still quite potent in terms of me being able to smell the fragrance very easily. This has barely faded on my skin, but let's go ahead and check out the really lovely atomizer that you actually get with their travel size. I love the way that this disperses the fragrance onto the skin. There's nothing worse than having a perfume that just goes splat and then runs down your arm. You can see with this one that it has a really light, fine mist to it. I love that. That's something that I really honestly look for when it comes to fragrances. I hate the ones that just squirt out and just go splat on your skin. Don't like it. Okay. You know what's really interesting about this particular scent is I've had this happen with a few different fragrances, but what I smell in the bottle is exactly what I smell on my skin. It's really interesting. Sometimes a fragrance will really change and develop once it mixes with your body, with your personal body chemistry, but this is one where it does not change at all for me. What I smell in the bottle and what I smell on my skin is exactly the same, and I love it because I love what this smells like in the bottle. So it definitely opens up with that frangipani. I also actually smell that gardenia right alongside with the frangipani. It immediately then goes into that warm, creamy coconut note. I will say, I have had a lot of people share with me that they're not really into coconut as a personal fragrance note. If you are someone who avoids coconut, you want to avoid this fragrance. There is enough of it in here to where you are not going to be able to ignore it. It's a really creamy coconut. It smells, I would say, a little bit like suntan lotion, but even more so just like a pure creamy coconut. Sometimes suntan lotion can have a little bit of that like pool chlorine in it, or a little hint of like banana or something like that. That's not present in here. It really just is like a pure creamy coconut. Immediately after that, it goes into that ylang ylang for me, and then at the base, that sandalwood and that ambrox provide the perfect amount of depth. This fragrance still remains very feminine, but it does add just a little bit of depth with the sandalwood and the ambrox that I think this needs to stop from being maybe too sweet or potentially cloying. I love the addition of those two notes in here. It's perfect. I'm telling you guys, everything about this is perfect. There is a little bit of a like musky vibe that comes across as well, but it's not overly musky to where it kind of ruins the fragrance. Again, it just adds a little bit of depth. And I feel like the musk also really, in this specific fragrance, kind of works to elevate a lot of the other fragrance notes here. I think the musks elevate that coconut. I also think the musks really elevate the frangipani and the gardenia, especially in this one. It is perfection. There is nothing in my collection right now that is really even remotely close to this. I have some other really lovely coconut scents in my perfume collection, but there's nothing quite like this one, which is really what has me thinking that this is probably one worth investing in terms of purchasing the full size. It is chef's kiss all around. It couldn't possibly be better. Next, let's go ahead and discuss the overall strength of this fragrance, the projection, and the lasting power. And we have nothing but positivity on all of these levels as well. In terms of the overall strength of this fragrance, I do think it's quite potent. It's not one that I would suggest dousing yourself with. Maybe 2-3 spritzes is plenty. I'm telling you, don't overdo it with this one. It is one where I do think that it can be potentially overwhelming to people around you who are maybe a little bit more sensitive to fragrance. It's one that I am being a little bit more careful with myself because it is so intensely potent. And I think one of the best things here also is the fact that it lasts for hours on my skin. So I actually applied this just about 4.5, 5 hours ago initially, and it has lasted on my skin that entire time and has barely faded. I obviously just reapplied to this arm here, but also it was applied over on this arm, and the strength it's almost the same, and I just reapplied over here. So this has some really amazing lasting power to it. There's nothing bad that I can say about this fragrance. It is a tropical just explosion of, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. If you are looking to amp up the tropical vibes even more with this one, I would highly suggest pairing it with the Way St. Bart's body lotion. The two fragrances, they share some similarities, but honestly, I think this is even better than the St. Bart's, and I love the St. Bart's, but together they really combine to create the perfect, like, beachy, salty ocean air, coconut, tropical floral explosion. You cannot go wrong with that pairing. It's great on its own, but pair it with the Way St. Bart's and you are going to smell like you're on vacation. This is really going to transport you to a tropical destination in your head. Even if you can't afford to go there right now, it'll transport you there in your head. Anyway, obviously I am a huge fan of this one. I would say if you're at all interested, check it out. If you happen to be at the mall this weekend, pop into your local Sephora, check out all of the LoveShackFancy fragrances, but especially stick your nose in this one. I'm telling you, it is a rock star fragrance and one that I just don't think I can personally live without. So, do I need another perfume in my collection? No, but will I add this to my collection? Highly likely. Also, I love the full-size bottle. I am a sucker for the packaging when it comes to LoveShackFancy. It is over the top, uber feminine, but man, it rocks my world. So I am excited to be able to purchase the full size of this. There's just no way that I'm only going to be sticking with the travel size for this summer. Not a chance. So if you have also tried Love on the Beach from LoveShackFancy, please share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're interested in picking this one up, like I said, I have it linked at the very top of the description box. Have at it if you're interested. Let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate you being here. Please subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.